If you're looking for that perfect fall dish for a cozy Friday night Shabbat, look no further than butterscotch pudding with a crunchy graham crumble. Let's get started. So I'm going to get going here on the stove top, mixing up all the ingredients that I need for the base of the pudding. We have some almond milk, brown sugar, which will cook into a nice butterscotch, some salt to balance out all that sugar, and our cornstarch, which will help thicken up this pudding. So get all that in there. This is a really nice dish to make ahead the day before you're expecting guests or family, or the day of, and just set it right into the fridge. So it's so easy. And you can see all this brown sugar is going to melt and get a nice butterscotch flavor. And just be careful that all the cornstarch really melts in there at this base stage so you don't taste any cornstarch later on when you're biting into a spoonful of pudding. And I want the base with the cornstarch to just start to bubble up a little bit, show me that the cornstarch is doing its job with thickening before I add in the rest of the milk. So I'm starting to see some bubbles. So let's add the rest of our liquid right in. And you can see it has this rich brown butterscotch flavor. And next our vanilla. And we'll be stirring here for just a little bit. Oof, this is getting a little bit hot, so my bad. Do have a silicone topping to your whisk for the handle. The margarine we'll add at the end just to give it that little bit of extra shininess and silkiness when it comes off the heat. It's so great how just a couple of simple ingredients will bubble up into what could be a very fancy Friday night dessert. So once you start to see these thicker, very vigorous bubbles, it's time to go off of the heat. And we'll add the butter right in. And that will help stop the cooking process. And I have a measuring cup ready to go so I can start to fill up my individual servings of butterscotch pudding. Leave a little bit of room there for when this cools down so we can fill it up with some whipped cream. You can fill it up with, of course, the crumble on top. And to avoid getting a skin on the pudding mixture, you can just take some plastic wrap and put it right over the top here before you transfer to the fridge to chill down for dinner time. So if you're just going to cover the top, tenting it with plastic wrap, you'll get a little bit of a skin, which doesn't look as nice, and maybe it has an unpleasant texture. So I recommend going right to the surface. You won't. It's not too hot. Right to the surface of the pudding, so that you don't get that skin. Let's chill them down right in the fridge. Let's make the topping for our puddings. All right, we have lots of good flavors here. We have graham crackers going right into the food processor. More brown sugar for that butterscotch fall theme. Our flour, cinnamon. Always need a bit of salt to get that sweetness balance, and pecans too, chopped up. Just going to give this a quick mix before we add the margarine. All nice and blended, and the margarine is chilled. So this will mix up very quickly. Don't want to get it completely into one big clump or dough. We want it kind of into crumbles that we'll put onto a baking tray. see how it looks. So it's kind of not really coming together yet, which is just what we want. So it can be a nice crumbly kind of granola consistency to bake in the oven. I've got my tray here ready to go, and just going to spread the crumble topping evenly over. And also keep in mind, you can switch up any kind of dried out biscuit or cookie that you love from the supermarket, or something that you've baked at home, or something that was delicious but you have some extra and it's dried out, like an old oatmeal cookie. You can always save your cookies and let them dry out to do something like this, but we've done the graham cracker today, which tastes great too. So we're going to get this right into the oven. Time to plate our puddings, which is so much fun to decorate them and get them ready for serving. My crumble here has just come out of the oven and it's been cooling down for 5 minutes, and I'm going to get the puddings right out of the fridge. They're all chilled and nicely set up, so we can just remove the plastic wrap. And we have some really fun toppings here. And you can get your serving tray ready to go. I wish you were here and could smell the nutty pecans and all of this brown sugar cinnamon flavor. So good for fall. So just get a layer of the crumble on the bottom, which is really nice contrast to the silky pudding. And who doesn't like some whipped cream on top? And let's add some more of the nutty crumble right on there. Little mini spoons to get these served to. Just transfer them right to the tray. Your guests are gonna love this. Let me just give it a little taste test. Enjoy. A butternut. See, try to get fancy.